Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gravity Rush 2. We actually are progressing plot this time.
What's Melina
Yay!
doing here? Like,
No, it's not Melina. It's Magenta Katana.
you sure?
Totally different.
I'm no, I'm not
It might
actually.
be Magenta Jade. I mean, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be rescuing our dear Edgy the Hedgy in hot girl form.
She was already hot though.
Oh, man, now, okay, you put that image in my head, and the first thing my brain latches onto is the similarity to the concept of Poke Girls. Please no. Ugh.
Come with me, random citizen.
Oh my god!
It really sucks for me too, because one of my favorite Pokemon designs is Gardevoir, but you can't do an image search for Gardevoir. You just can't.
the one that was basically designed for porn.
Why did they have to make a Pokemon that's a sex doll?
It's
Like,
not.
why did they have to? No, I'm thinking about Baneri right now. They literally made a Playboy
no.
bunny.
Wait, no, Baneri is the first one.
Oh.
Lopunny is the second
Lopunny.
one.
Yeah, that's actually my least favorite Pokemon is Lopunny, because there was no reason to make the Playboy bunny Pokemon. Like, no. Why do you do that?
They
Also,
did
it's
it.
not a good Pokemon. So...
It's from Japan, so it's probably not a Playboy bunny Pokemon. It's probably a Casino bunny Pokemon, which is totally different, obviously.
I mean, same concept though.
Oh
even
yeah,
though
I
it fucks
know.
like
I
rabbits.
I don't actually get what the rabbit connected with a sexy woman thing is in either culture.
Fucks like
but,
rabbits.
Like rabbits.
But
Fucks like rabbits.
like, well, I mean, if you say so.
What do you mean, like, as far as what do you mean, like, as far as the casino thing
Well,
goes?
yeah, what's the connection? I don't get it.
Because rabbits have a lot of
lot of-
sex, and so they'll have sex with you.
No, the casino thing more stems from, I think, obviously Playboy would do a lot of events in Vegas because Vegas.
Right.
So they probably just connected the two.
Okay.
That'd be my guess.
I mean, someday I'm going to care enough at a time when I'm not distracted by something else and will remember to Google it. But it's always been a question at the back of my brain that pops up whenever I see, like, the bunny suit gag in an anime. Because there's always a bunny suit. It's as obligatory as a bath towel. Okay, so, like, right.
Say bye to your cargo guy.
Why are we doing this now?
You have to storm the Bastille.
Okay, 2 miles from here, that
Wait, what-
box is gonna land straight on somebody's head, and they're gonna get a concussion.
No, it's not, because it disintegrated in midair. Didn't you see it? It just sort of shattered.
Okay,
when it
well
got
then
far enough
somebody's
away.
going to get splinters go straight through all of their body parts. Then.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe one of them will be a magic splinter, and they'll be able to grow it into a magic staff. Yes,
Cat sits. Cat.
Oh no!
Cat.
At least you can catch yourself when you glitch through the geometry.
Okay, Cat. How about you try sitting still?
No.
I don't get why players feel the need to fidget around all the goddamn time when they need to wait for something in a video game, because
Because it's boring.
no, it's not. It's a chance to take a drink, or pour yourself a drink, or eat some chips. Don't you have some chips
Oh.
with you?
No, because most chips are salty and at least somewhat greasy, which I find to be very bad for playing camera, for playing with video games.
You're just not buying the right chips, okay? Get kettle cooked. There's no reason to ever get anything that's not kettle cooked anyway. So like, well, I mean, unless you're like Doritos or something. But why do you mix video games and Doritos? Why do so many people mix video games and Doritos? That's the worst That's the worst chip you can eat with a video game is a Dorito.
It's not a chip, but I would say Cheetos are worse.
I eat my chips with a fork.
Well, I mean, Doritos and Cheetos both make your hands equally messy, so yeah.
I was gonna say they're functionally the same thing as far as end result of your messy hands go.
Yeah, but I feel like Cheeto Dust has a certain like longevity to it that Doritos Dust doesn't quite match. Where you'll like wake up one day and you'll see like a giant orange stain somewhere.
This is rapidly
'cause you
evolving
brushed your
into a conversation that sounds disturbingly like a wine conversation. Only it's about like low budget snack foods. So
One of my favorite gags on Bob's Burgers is it's an episode where a wine snob challenges him to like guess the type of wine it is, and So the last challenge they do is he's like, what is it? And then Bob goes, it's the spit bucket. And then it was the spit bucket, which was pretty good. You should watch Bob's Burgers. It's a good show.
Well,
wait, so are we trying to, like, tail Raven, or...
Yes.
it's a good thing that, like, she doesn't flop around the way
Raven.
Cat does, because if she did flop around the way Cat does, she'd very quickly see what's behind her. And
Raven, Doritos or Cheetos?
What?
Answer the question, Raven.
well, you know, Raven, going by her color scheme, is more of a blueberry fruit roll-up person. So
I'm not interested in anything you're selling.
So Raven is just clearly better than us, right?
Yes, that's why I compare her to Shadow, because Shadow's just better than Sonic in most instances.
Did you guys ever
Yeah,
play
but
a Shadow and Sonic battle? Because he was pretty fun.
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, Shadow does have like more powers on top of the speed, but then again, his speed is unnatural. So, like,
I mean...
that still makes him better.
well, yeah, but he's doing it tool assisted, and Sonic just runs really fast. So physically,
Look,
Sonic
it's not
does
his fault
have...
that he was made in a biogenetic
My point is
lab.
My point is that physically speaking, if you take the logic at face value, Sonic is actually quite a lot faster than Shadow.
Hold on, wait. What makes Shadow's speed tool assisted?
He's using jet boots, damn it.
I
I
always
just thought
thought
they
that
were
the
always
jet boots
aesthetic.
were more just a style thing.
Yeah, I always thought
Yeah.
that. I always took him as a style.
Also, Sonic's using special shoes made by Uncle Chuck, so there.
Oh, for God's
No,
sakes.
he's not. No, he is not.
Don't you take
Then where did the shoes come from?
They're just shoes.
soap.
Okay? They are
They're
shoes.
soap shoes.
He doesn't even need special shoes. He changes them for that entire game and then changes back.
That's why I miss soap shoes. They had an origin.
The soap shoes, I honestly think, are the best looking shoes, but that's me.
I think they look good in the character art, but in the model they look kind of wonky.
The Sonic Adventure 2 models haven't aged well at all. Like, you have just to look at Knuckles with all of his garbage when he has his upgrades to see that. But
Knuckles has become over encumbered.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in the in-game model, the soap shoes look really, like, oversized and not very nice.
yeah, I think it's because they were trying to actually match the details of the shoes in the model, whereas they look bigger, whereas they're more to scale in the character art, and so they look better there.
Yeah.
But
It's just like, the ankle of the shoe is so wide. How do they stay on?
it also doesn't help that I think like the lightspeed thing goes on one of the upgrades goes on the shoes, which makes them even bigger.
Lightspeed.
The lightspeed dash? Oh, I thought that was it's the bracelet in the first adventure game. So yeah.
No, both of them do
Yeah,
that.
they both go on, like, the back of the
back
back
of
of the
the shoe.
shoe, yeah, near the soles.
Then what does the bracelet do in the first
Bounce.
adventure
It,
game?
it cuts down the.
Oh,
It
oh wait,
cuts
yeah,
down the
in
lightspeed
the first
dash
game
charge.
it cuts down, yeah, lightspeed dash charge time.
Oh, okay.
And
Or either that, it's a really small flotation device that keeps Sonic's hand from drowning.
So he can hold his boombox playing the drowning music above the water and it doesn't break?
Boombox.
Yeah. This is the 2000s and Sonic is a 90s character. Of course he has a boombox.
If it was a 90s character, it'd be a Walkman.
Yeah,
Look,
80s
Sonic is
80s
always
boombox.
perpetually 10 years behind the times. Alright.
well, I mean, I'm sure there was a commercial that involved both Sonic and a boombox in the same place at the same time, but
Probably.
Okay, so were those arm movements by Raven supposed to be intimidating? Because she just kind of looked like she was like, grrr.
Boss fight.
I'm gonna videotape everything you do while you've got this mask on, Raven, and then when I snap you out of it, I'm gonna show it all to you, and you're gonna die inside. That's
We boss fought her in the first game, right?
Yes.
Why did she hate us then?
Well, she was our rival. I mean,
Yeah.
she still is. So, I mean, that alone is probably the only reason you need.
Yeah, but why is she our rival?
Because Japanese pop culture has a rival fetish, okay? You can't not have a rival. You can never not have a rival. There needs to be one. It's just required, okay? Sometimes they're really, really good, like Virgil or Myers Schrodinger or something. But, like, most of the time they just kind of exist, and we accept it because we're used to seeing it, but we never really ask why the story needed to do this. And sometimes it actively makes things worse, like Naruto. But yeah.
So one of my favorite clips on Twitter was somebody took the episode of SpongeBob where he runs away from civilization and joins the jellyfish, but dubbed it over with the scene from Naruto where Sasuke explains like why he left the village or whatnot, and Patrick is Naruto and he's like, "Sasuke, tell me why," and then it cuts to some later season episode with SpongeBob's brother, and he's like, "You have to kill your best friend," and then he's holding a picture of Patrick. And it's just like, I just thought you were too weak and not worthy of killing. And it's the funniest thing ever to see this over-dramatic anime bullshit being brought out of SpongeBob characters.
Oh, I'm sorry I beat you up. I didn't realize I just had to take the mask off.
Her hair.
Oh, and her hair instantly died back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why did the hair streaks turn
All
purple?
the blue in the hair just sort of leaked out. That's why. Because that's how colors work, I suppose.
No, it's like mood rings. When she's brainwashed, it's purple.
Purple's the color of brainwash, don't you know?
I couldn't immediately think of any other scenario where a character was brainwashed with a purple tint.
Well, purple is an evil color in Japan. Like, to the point where the Dragon Quest XI protagonist has a purple outfit, and Japanese fans were speculating that it was like a reincarnation of one of the villains from the old game, just because it was purple, and purple is evil. I'm not joking.
Yeah, color symbolism in anime stuff can be pretty...
Well, also, just speaking of ye olden days, purple was a color reserved for nobility just because of how difficult it was to make at the time.
Yeah, I think only like very specific flowers and like maybe some ocean animals, if I can remember correctly, can get you purple dye, so it was the most expensive by far. So it's mostly a king kind of thing.
Nobility thing, yeah.
Okay, so that's why the color is often tied with power.
Yes.
And status. Okay.
Purple's my favorite color, though, so, you know.
Nah. Burgundy for me.
Oh, what kind of frickin' smug-ass burgundy is my favorite color?
You want me to be basic, bitch, and just say red?
Look, I'm saying purple. I feel like that's a fairly original favorite
Mauve.
color.
Yeah, it was mauve.
No.
My favorite color is yellow-green as opposed to green-yellow.
Yellow.
Macaroni and cheese, or everybody's favorite, skin.
You know,
What about forest green from the Crayola box?
I actually remember that kid who sat down to draw with crayons one time, saw this skin-colored crayon, and was like, okay, now how do I draw a black person? Like, unironically, I was just looking through the crayons trying to find one that would match, and I couldn't find one.
Oh, God.
It would be years and years until I actually considered why.
God. Yeah, Ken, are you ever going to use the gun for its intended purpose?
No. What are you doing down there?
Oh my god. I love that it just went to its falling animation and then just kept falling.
I mean, you were the bad guy 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so whose outfit's more ridiculous, Cats or Ravens?
Ravens.
Well,
Yeah, Cat's
you know,
Cat's at least is covering for the most part.
Yeah, but I also feel like
Cats is
those
like
weird metal things.
functional. Cats is like functionally more dangerous to wear, doing all these anti-gravity shenanigans.
But Raven should be falling out of that thing the second she moves.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
like
Unless if she's got like double-sided tape on that.
Raven's kind of got like that Power Girl situation where the moment you start flying, you'd expect the wind resistance to just tear it right off. But well, anime, I guess.
Lots of double-sided tape.
Lots of really high-quality double-sided tape. That is an expensive outfit to wear, god damn it.
Look, I'm sure that any decent anime outfit probably costs several $1,000s to make. You know, you've got these anime...
I mean, unless it's a school uniform.
It's like the financial version of Kill la Kill. The less there is to the outfit, the more it costs.
Yeah, you know, you've got all these anime characters where it's like, I came from a poor village, and I grew up with nothing. And then their outfits asymmetrical with all sorts of different colors, probably expertly tailored and costing several $1,000s to make.
Well, yeah. They're the main character. They can't just be wearing baggy jeans and a jacket, can they? Well, the Western pop culture disagrees. That's all we ever wear over here.
Yeah, but to be fair, Western pop culture characters are kind of boring. Like, I mean, even if you look at a lot of, like, superheroes, for example, many superheroes are only wearing their costumes, like, some of the time. So, and there's usually, especially in the movies, like, a lot of time put into how did they make this costume? Why are they wearing such a stupid outfit? What do you want? Yellow spandex? Oh, God, freaking old X-Men movies.
Well, it's not like the black rubber jumpsuit was any more practical.
Yeah. Whereas anime doesn't give a crap, and they can just wear whatever they want, and that's can be respected, I think.
Well, yeah, but at the same time,
I think it's because at that time there was still a stigma, though.
Well, I mean, it still goes on to much
at the same time, though.
No, but if there was ever a point where, I mean, because that's the thing right now, like who's going to play Logan and Wolverine and the whatever X-Men movie they're thinking of making now, if they were to, I don't think they'd be as pressured to not.
Oh no,
do
it
the
would probably be
suit.
yellow and look more like the original.
They would need to finally do
at the same time.
costume.
You know, sometimes they can be ridiculously boring. For example, a lot of shonen anime just has this relatability fetish, which can be likened to a Western sensibility in that way, where all the characters not only have to be like teenage boys and school children and stuff, they have to be wearing the uniforms all the time, so you never forget how relatable they are. So, like, yeah, Persona 5 has these weird costumes, sure, but Persona 4 is so committed to having the characters wear their school uniforms all the time that they contrived this bullshit excuse for them to intentionally wear their school uniforms when they go into the TV world. Because that's not a stupid decision at all. They're totally not going to get all ripped up, and then people are going to be asking why you don't have your school uniform to wear.
I mean, they did that, but they also went out of their way to make everyone's uniform look different. Like, Chie's got the green jacket over her uniform. Yusuke's got his shirt, like, almost all the way open. Who's its face?
Katsumi wears his jacket as a cape.
Yeah, I forget the one with the red jacket for some... I don't even remember.
Well, yeah,
Yukiko,
they did that because that's, like, the way Japanese high schoolers express individuality. But
yeah, you have to wear the uniform, but you have ways of not necessarily customizing it, but having your own little spin on it.
Yeah.
The rules may or may not be more strict depending on your
My
school.
point is, the Japanese are just as prone to boring character design for the sake of relatability as anywhere else.
I will say for the most part, I think MCU's pretty good about costumes, with some exceptions, mind you. Like, I think the only time that I think they did, the only time where I think in recent memory where they made a big deal about the costume was Spider-Man in Civil War, where it actually looked like it was thrown together by a 16-year-old who didn't know what he was doing, and then Tony is
well,
like,
that's because
kid.
In the comic there was a part of the story where the costume was thrown together by a 16-year-old who didn't know what he was doing.
Well, I mean, in some of the comics, like in the very old Steve Ditko, Stan Lee ones, he just has a costume.
Yeah,
but it's like a huge thing in the Sam Raimi first Spider-Man movie about him designing costumes.
Yeah.
It's like it takes forever, and it's like, I don't care. He can just wear the costume.
Well, I was making up somewhat also for the fact that he didn't design web shooters in the movie either.
Yeah, which would have been a way better character progression in the. I'm gonna rant about
the
Sam
other
Raimi's
time
Spider-Man for
they
an
sort
hour.
of made a big deal out of the costume was Daredevil, but that was because they were adapting that specific arc from that specific miniseries where he spends the whole time in that black vigilante outfit and doesn't wear the costume at all until the final panel.
I think that also, since Daredevil's also such a much more violent movie series. You have to kind of think a
it
little
all-
bit more about, okay, how does he not die?
It's also a bit weird because Daredevil's costume is basic bitch besides the little horns on the
But
head.
they also had.
That is also true.
They also had. His name's not coming to my mind.
The guy who made his costume, who's a villain.
No.
Later.
Right? I'm not talking about Stiltman. I'm talking about. My brain is not working. I'm sorry. Cage. That's the one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Luke Cage. Oh yeah, Luke Cage's costume was just like a hoodie.
There's a
which is
scene in a
little boring.
flashback where he looks at himself after he's escaped from a lab, and he's wearing a costume very close to his comic book costume, and he's like, "You look like a damn fool." And
Okay,
he does.
yeah, that's a little.
He does kind of look like a damn fool in live action.
And Iron Fist 2 is like he refuses to look anything like Iron Fist, and it's part of the reason, many reasons why that series is bad.
Yes. At the very least, we didn't have to wait till next part for you to remember who it was. But speaking of, we will see you in the next part.